And welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. It's a beautiful world outside. It's a great day. The sun is shining. I hope everyone's doing awesome in their life, good or bad. You gotta accept both. So, I've been seeing a lot of shit lately, as far as taking down monuments and like Christopher Columbus statues or Thomas Jefferson, shit like that. Me personally, I don't like the removal of history only because I don't view history as good or bad. I view history as history. Great men can do, or I'm not gonna say great men, but someone that does great actions that has a huge impact on society can also be a complete asshole. You can also be a fucked up person while you happen to do one good thing in your life. Martin Luther King was a womanizer, cheating on his wife and stuff, but he helped with the civil rights movement and shit. So hey, it is what it is. Malcolm X, before he went to Allah and Islam, he was running around doing drugs, fucking white women. Sometimes we try to hold our historical figures as if they're heroes. There are no heroes. Just men, flawed human beings who sometimes seem great and can also not be at the same time. Hitler was a fucked up person. Killed a lot of Jews and did a lot of, bad things. But to some people, they probably saw him as something great. There's a reason why and how that he was able to, form the Nazi party and take over Germany. So I've been watching things, we all, or not we all, but if you have heard of before, 1984 by George Orwell, we always think of those dystopian societies, or Aldous Huxley, who has a book called Brave New World. I was watching some videos on YouTube, just kind of getting a good grasp and understanding, because I kind of wanted to touch on it. So, dystopian society, man, I meant to look up the definition of it to, fuck it, whatever. You look at the definition, I don't even, not sure exactly what the definition of it is, but I guess I can look it up now. But for me, you know, um, when you think of 1984, you think of living in that, or within that book and stuff, a society that is constantly under watch, the watchful eye of Big Brother and stuff like that. Let's go with whatever. So, quick Google search in their dictionary, which the definitions are from Oxford Languages, whatever. Anyways, so it says dystopian adjective relating to or denoting an image state or society where there is great suffering or injustice. A noun, a person who imagines or foresees a state or society where there is great suffering or injustice. Whew. Don't try to read early in the morning out loud. Fuck that up. So even with that, what is injustice? And because some people can say, it's injustice as far as like what the Black Lives Matter movement talks about or Antifa talks about and shit. But at the same time, injustice could be, you pushing your ideas and thoughts or your political correctness onto someone else and, no longer letting them have their freedom of speech or whatever. And justice seems to be subjective too at times and not necessarily objective, how we want to perceive it. But in 1984 and stuff like that, it talks about a one oligarchy type of society where the top is ruled by a few select people and the bottom of the population is basically in their own fucking world. And they don't even realize they're being monitored and watched the whole entire time. And it makes me, you probably hear different conspiracy theories. I fucking hate that word. I shouldn't say that. You probably hear a bunch of different ideas or things being talked about where it makes you wonder if we're living in a dystopian society, because America is a free place, and you know, I don't know if y'all hear my cat, but she's sitting here meowing at me for whatever reason, probably because she wants attention or whatnot. But she's fucking up my train of thought. But yeah, we have a not we have, but when you think of dystopian society, we have some comparisons where the freedom of information, our information in general is controlled, and the top, the elites in the world control the information, and people will say, oh, no, there's not no elite group or whatever sitting around, making decisions for everybody. But to be honestly, it's really not that hard. Do I believe it? I don't know if I believe it cold-heartedly. I don't really, like I said, I try not to have no beliefs of anything. That way, I'm always open to other interpretations. But is it possible that something like that can happen? Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, it's not that hard. Think about majority of the population. We can look at what happened after 9/11. All of a sudden, we're ready, the Patriot Act is signed. Everybody's willing to give up freedoms and willing to be searched and things of that nature. Why? Because we're afraid of the next possible terrorist attack. It's really not that hard. When you live in a constant state of fear and anxiety, because you can already have your own fear and anxiety with your own life that you have to overcome. But here you are, or here we are, the media is constantly telling us, oh, that's bad. Oh, this is that. Look, did you pay attention to this? Did you see what's going on here? Oh, look, we're going to constantly show you, the white male officer that kills the black male citizen that is unarmed. We're constantly going to show you that. We're not going to show you anything else. Look at Black Lives Matter. The whole fact that it's called Black Lives Matter is fucked up. Black, in a sense, is a derogatory term. When we think of black, we think of the absence of light, because that's what black is. We think of emptiness. We don't think of any. How often do we have an image of anything positive when we mention black? Yet, here people want to call themselves black. I don't define myself as black. I don't label myself as black. I try to stay far away from labels. It's okay to have adjectives. You can say I'm short or tall, but that's also objective and subjective at the same time. Because I can see myself as short sometimes if I'm around other people that are taller than me. But if I'm around other people that are shorter than me, then guess what? I feel like I am tall. And you can see the same thing objectively based on comparisons of other people around me. So to me, hearing Black Lives Matter, I understand the sentiment. I get where it's coming from, but it's almost a disguise. To me, it's almost an illusion. It's oh look, we really care, but we really don't, because we want to be inclusive but exclusive at the same time. Because if you can say Black Lives Matter is an okay term, but then if you say White Lives Matter, that's racist. Or if you say Yellow Lives Matter, where is Yellow Lives Matter? Or then when they say Blue Lives Matter, and people are like, Blue Lives Matter is different, or blah blah. Fuck it. Let's go down the whole rainbow. Red Lives Matter, Orange Lives Matter, Purple Lives Matter, Indigo Lives Matter. Let's keep going. It sounds ridiculous, right? Because that shit exactly what it is. Fucking ridiculous. We're out here making shit up. We have temperature checks all over the place, and whether you're for the temperature checks or mask, I still have no idea. And I did the research and a whole bunch of different things, and I spent a few hours the other day just trying to debate myself with that, as far as what the benefits or advantages and disadvantages of masks. And what I come to find out is really nobody really fucking knows, and there's not enough science or studies behind it, and it seems like they don't really want, they have the studies, but it's whatever. And the studies might make sense, they might not make sense. So for me, it seems like at some point it has to come down to someone's own individual opinion and choice, because it's a thin line. once you become that collective identity, that collective group, and that herd mentality, and you're starting to be told, hey, y'all all do this, you kind of want to me, at some point you have to question, like, wait a minute, I thought I was free. And even though you can say it might seem selfish or something like that, and I'll give you that argument, and I understand that. But at some point, that's human nature. Like we need the people to be we need people to be selfish. We need people to be selfless. Like the only way we'll survive and thrive as a species is if we have these debates in society openly. If we go back and forth. If we try to find a middle ground between all these ideologies on how to manage our resources, because that's all we're doing. We're still a tribal mentality, still trying to understand how to manage resources, but at the same time, we know no one can be in complete control of all the resources. So even amongst the elites, there's still people, there's still one group going against another group, going against another group, going against another group. So the balance of power will always be imbalance. Imbalance, not imbalance. But the power will always be distributed because no one can have absolute power. America has nuclear weapons, and other countries have nuclear weapons. And we all know it only takes a few to drop around the world and shit, and we're all fucking dealing with radiation poisoning. So, guess what? Let's not drop that shit. It's ironic that the United States government is like, oh no, you can't have nuclear weapons, or you can't have nuclear weapons, yet they're the only motherfuckers who have ever dropped a nuclear weapon. Oh, the irony is, man, you gotta laugh at shit because irony is crazy. But to go back to the dystopian world, you're being watched. I'm recording this on my iMac, and I still think of Eric Snowden. Like, yeah, I need to put some tape over my camera because I don't know if the NSA is watching this shit. I don't know if they're hacking into it and watching it. I mean, they can see what they want to see, I guess. My ugly ass face, that makes them feel better, but I don't know. I mean, like I say, I go back to the temperature checks and the face masks and stuff. Like at some point, you got to question, like, man, how much, are we willing to sacrifice? Because they tell us it's for the betterment of humanity, but we know no one really gives a fuck about other people to that extent. Like, think about it. You care about your small group of people, and that's about it. Like if we talk about caring about the world, and we want to, and we all have that in us as human beings, but at the same time, we know not everybody's gonna live, and that's what gets us, because our fear of death is also a thing that holds us back from the enjoyment of life. I sat my kids down the other day and I made them watch like a little 10-minute video on Buddhism, and it was kind of a cartoonish thing for kids or whatever, just kind of keep their attention because man, it's so hard to sit kids down and make them focus for a few minutes when it's just some shit that they don't want to do. But I think they seemed like they were kind of enjoying it and just wanting to learn. I hope they did, but if not, it's my job as a parent. I don't want to say I'm forcing them, but I try to tell them, like, hey, anything I teach and tell y'all, man, question it. Even question what I'm telling you. Fuck, I'm questioning what I'm telling you. Constantly questioning. But I had him watch Buddhism and explain to him, and explain Siddhartha Gautama and explain his journey and stuff to enlightenment. And I got a little Buddhist statue, and I was telling him about it. That's in the living room or whatever. And I'm explaining it to him. And I told him, like, look, no matter what, you will suffer. There's nothing you can do about it. You will suffer in this existence. You will live and you will die. But guess what? Nobody really knows what life and death actually is. So either way is unavoidable. I was like, hell, you don't know, we're dead right now. And then when we do die, we are born. No one really knows. We were just all trying to understand it and shit. You don't even know what life actually is. But I told him, like, understand that the world is suffering. And you will suffer throughout your lifetime. Once you accept it, then you can experience life and be okay. And find a balance, It talks about the Buddhist talks about the middle way, the middle path. You gotta find that balance somewhere. Understand that suffering is a part of life, pain is a part of life. Sometimes when we look at our mortality, we think, oh man, we don't want to get sick, we don't want to die, we don't want to feel pain, and that's understandable because that's part of our survival mechanism as well. But what is also interesting is that people in governments and control and power seem to understand this too, because what I'm talking about has been talked about for thousands of years. What I'm talking about, people who have been in position of power know this. So it's not beyond the imagination to think that, hey, if someone in power knows the same information I'm talking about right now, and it's been known for thousands of years, how easily it is to manipulate others, right? So even though I may not truly believe that, hey, there's people out there controlling the world, it's not imaginable that people can actually control the world. And I can see evidence of it in the TV shows and the media, the news outlets, and the programming I watch. All the predictive programming, the movies and stuff. Independence Day, we always talking about no, there's no aliens, and yet there's a whole industry based on showing you shit about aliens. Why? Predictive programming. So when that shit does happen, we want to be like, everybody be like, oh, if a big fucking ship right now came over the your fucking inner city or came over New York City and we seen that shit, we'll all be like, oh, it's Independence Day. Been preparing this forever, bro. We're good. It's like, where the fuck is Will Smith at? God damn it. Fucking come save me. But like, we watch. Eric Snowden told us, hey, look, man, they're monitoring you. Look what they're doing. We call this man a traitor. Why is this man not considered a patriot? Why whistleblowers not considered, patriot? Why whistleblowers not considered the only fucking moral people within the system? Well, I tell you about not the only moral people, but the only, I guess, the people with the courage or the insanity to fucking step up and say something. Uh, Chelsea Manning, right? Chelsea Manning, right? That's her name? Chelsea Manning. Whistleblowers, man. I got the WikiLeaks website on my phone pulled up so I can read all the 70,000 something like emails. Man, I read a couple. I'm like, oh shit. I was reading some of the Clinton emails and just things that, and it was just a touch, just touching the surface of some of the things that's just talked about in the emails. It's like, huh. It's almost like they do it and like, we don't give a fuck. Like, what? If you catch me, I'll just deny it. No big deal. But all the freedoms that, it's a thin line, man. Because we seem to be a free society or in the Western civilization or United States, America in particular. But, they close off a beach. And they tell you it's for a good reason. And you want to believe them because it makes sense. Like, okay, they care about us, or hey, they're trying to make sure that that's why they're in this position of power. That's why they were elected, supposedly. That's why they're in this position of power to get things done and stuff, whatever, and protect us. Who says we need protection though? Do we just willingly give that up? You gotta question these things because in a true democracy, we will be able to have a say-so in these things. And we seem not to have a say-so. We think we have a say-so, but it's really, it's a representative, it's a republic. We have people representing us, even at your local government. The other day in my city of Lakeland, they had a meeting, a town hall meeting, and they asked people to call in and stuff, whatever, and voice their public opinion about the face mask and whether it should be mandatory in Lakeland. But I'm like, wait a minute. The fuck? How you even know about this meeting? Because I had to fucking find out on Twitter, and then on Twitter, it was like, oh, there's a meeting at 9 a.m. that they tweeted. I'm like, wait a minute, you tweeted this shit at like 8:47. What the fuck? And then I made sure now I put all their for me following the city of Lakeland on Twitter. I made sure I put the notifications on, like, I need to know all the shit y'all know because it really starts there. You gotta take a position and be active. They always tell you to, like everybody's telling you to vote for the president. Why? You need to vote for your local city legislation, your city commissioners, your city managers, your city mayor. Like you need to vote for those things. The council members, who's on the board. You understand what's going on there because, as you can tell, if you haven't noticed, they don't teach real government in school. When we talk about American government, what we talk about? American government, United States of America, the corporation. We're talking about the one that controls the resources and things of all the other states together collectively when it comes to international trade and business. We're not talking about anything else. We're talking about that one specific thing. And it's kind of messed up that it's like that. And my computer just pissed me off now because I'm pretty sure that I put it on there to not fall asleep while I'm recording, and yet it still fell asleep while I was recording. So that's something I'm gonna have to fix. That just aggravated me. So, anyways, you have to think about how I just read the other day that the North Carolina governor decided to make masks mandatory for everybody. And whether or not you believe that is the best thing to do, is it really okay to take that choice away from people? Because they're telling you that population will become a problem and we're having too many people. So in theory, don't we need people to die? Now you might say that's kind of fucked up, but I'm just going on a logical reasoning right now. They're telling you that they're trying to protect you, but they also telling you that there's not a lot of resources or there's not enough food and the population is too much. So which one is it? Because if the population is too much, then we should be okay with people dying, correct? But it goes back to a play on your fear of dying because now that you're afraid to die, you're going to do everything possible to make sure you stay alive. But are you fighting with, man, I think it was from a Tupac and Biggie song on Tupac's album Resurrection soundtrack or whatever from his documentary. But I think it's Elton John or whatever, are you fighting to live or are you living to die? If I said it right. But it makes you think like exactly what is going on. Because we have so much emphasis on afraid to die and extend our lifetime and stuff, yet think about this, like they're telling you about the coronavirus, COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2. They're telling you about this virus, and they're telling you to wash your hands, social distancing, all these different things. They're also implementing digital currency. They're resetting the global economic financial markets right in front of your eyes. They don't talk about that. IMF, World Economic Forum, Trump. That's why Trump keeps saying, "Hey, oh yeah, we got the economy's gonna be great," because they've been planning this shit. And whether you're a liberal, conservative, wherever part of the elites, they all still know that blockchain and digital technology is the future. But how come that technology is not applied to our everyday lives? Their technology is only applied to entertainment and some production, but mainly entertainment. Because it's not even for our vehicles. And they're telling you to go to going away from oil consumption, but then to go to green energy stuff and using lithium ion batteries. But lithium is just another resource. Guess where we find that at? Over in the Middle East, Iraq, Afghanistan. Oh wait, America's over there too? Huh, that's interesting. Gotta fight for that fucking freedom though, right? Let's go fight. Gotta stop these people. They're being oppressed. We're being oppressed, man. Sometimes Hollywood's give you that images of heroes, bro. There's no fucking heroes, man. There's no one here to save you. There's no one here to save you. I don't care who you pray to. Because if there is a true deity out there, that entity will not be here to save us either. Because how can you learn if someone is always coming to save you constantly? You don't learn anything unless you help yourself. Now you can ask for help, a little guidance, yes, but to be completely saved. And when you think about politics in America, that's what it's always about. Hey, look at this cult of personality fucking presidential candidate. Oh, this person's coming to save us. Trump could be doing some good things, could be doing some bad things. Obama could do some good things, could do some bad things. But at what point do we question, like, hey, why is this person keep telling me they can save me? Oh, I can fight for you. I can help you out. How? Is it? But it's not just you. It's you and a whole bunch of other people. It's you and, like, I don't know, 200 some, 300 some people. It's your local government. It's your city, district. Well, I guess it's your district, because if you're in like New York City, you have a big, oh, everybody's patting to that small area or whatever, square mile and stuff. So you can go district, then it's your city, and then it's your county, if I'm saying it right. Then, go to your state. You can have all these different things and stuff that goes on. So it's interesting that in a time like this, they're telling you all this injustice and racial profiling and things of that nature, like with George Floyd's situation, or what you call it, in Louisville, Kentucky, Breonna Taylor. We're telling you this is a national problem. How come we don't say it's a Louisville problem? How come we don't say it's a Minneapolis problem? And that is my point. Everything's always jumped to the highest part of escalation and saying, oh, look at this, red flags, red flags, red flags. Look at this shit. Look what's going on. Pay attention. This is a fucked up world. And it's like, you don't have to tell me it's a fucked up world. But I need to determine what type of degree, how fucked up the world is. Because if things were changing, if there was progress, would you even know it? Could you even tell? Like I said, they're saying you're free, but look at how many laws we have. Look how many policies they're constantly adding on. And it's like, we all have to see a dystopian future, but how the fuck do you know you're not living in one already? Man, if y'all could see me, I sat here and like twisted my head as I said it, like, the shit I do when I talk to my kids, I twist my head and like, like fuck their brains up. My daughter was like, oh, stop, Dad, stop, you're hurting my brain. But you have the question, man, like, cause every time I see something, when I see them talking about moving down, tearing down statues and doing this stuff, and like, oh, these people are racist, we need to put them down. Oh, this flag is racist, we need to change it. I'm like, okay. But at the same time, I'm like, why does it seem eerily similar to like past regimes, like when dictators take over and shit, or when some type of elite group or whatever happens to take over? Because the first thing you do when you take over is get rid of the shit from the past. And I'm not saying we should immortalize these people who have did things, but what I'm saying is you recognize and you respect, because you can respect your enemy. And that's what, it's not always black and white. And that's what they keep trying to tell you. Literally, everything is black and white. They're literally telling you everything is black and white, even though everything is not black and white. There's multiple sides, multiple perspectives, multiple ideas to everything. But they're telling you it's either this or that. Because they're telling you racism exists. They're telling you racism doesn't exist. They're not telling you that it is what it is because human beings are fucked up. It's gonna always be here. Slavery still exists. Like I said in the other podcast, slavery still exists. We act like slavery just never fucking, like we act like slavery was just back a long time ago and stuff. No, it still exists. And every civilization in human history is built on slavery. But in order to understand history, in order to move past it, in order to learn from it, you have to accept it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I wrote a quote on my website. A quick plug, go to my website, DamianJackson22.com. Oh man, I had to throw in a plug for my own shit. But You really have to question what's going on, because I'm starting to wonder. I'm like, damn. I always think about this dystopian future and stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. How I know I'm not in it? And then that really fucked my head up. 'Cause I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. Something doesn't seem right here. Wait, you're doing this? Like I guess they had wanted to take down a statue of Christopher Columbus. We all know Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. Was he an explorer? Yes. Did he have slaves on his ship? Yes. That helped him explore. Were those same slaves already from Africa and knew that people had already lived in the Bahamas and people already lived in the Americas? Like I said, Whatchcall got there to the Caribbean, to the Bahamas, and he thought he went to the West Indies, so he called them Indians. So it says, but even though I thought people at that time knew that India wasn't even in that direction, so I don't even know how that came there about. And I had to read more of his actual notes and journals and stuff that are documented and archived in history. Hell, the history they teach us is a lie. So how do you not know that we have already lived through a reimagining of history? Because we have. Like I said, the African slave trade. We say that the African American slave trade. We always talk about that to the United States, even though there's not really no evidence that even supports that. And majority of slaves didn't come to the United States of America, to Turtle Island. That Native Americans was already living here. Dark-skinned Native Americans of my complexion. Light-skinned Americans of other complexions. If you haven't noticed, Turtle Island, the United States of America, is a pretty fucking big landmass. I don't know if you noticed. And if you haven't noticed, the continent of Africa is a huge landmass too. So you can have lighter complexion people and dark complexion people all in the same continent because, hey, it's pretty fucking big. Right? So my whole thing is, how do you not know we are already living in a dystopian future? Because they're always telling you, no, this is wrong, that's wrong. We're always being told, oh, this is bad, that's bad. We're always being told. Why? You don't need to tell me anything. All you need to do is present to me what's going on and let me decide for myself. Everything you're told is always something you're told. It's always an opinion. It's always an opinion presented as a fact. Yeah, it's an opinion presented as a fact. But they're not telling you it's an opinion. A lot of the news stories are opinions. Sometimes they'll say it's opinion, and sometimes they mask it with some factual evidence and then they call it facts and they call it an unbiased story, but we know it's an opinion. Man, can you think about what's going on? We're think about how prejudiced and biased this is. Every Trump supporter is racist. That's a racist statement in itself. It's a fucked up statement because now you're basically saying if you're a Trump supporter, all Trump supporters are white and they're racist. But you can't have a black Trump supporter. And if you have a black Trump supporter, you're Uncle Tom. Even though Uncle Tom is not a negative term, it was Uncle Tom was a fictional hero, helped free the slaves and stuff like that, and revolt and rebel. But somehow Uncle Tom got turned into a negative thing. Wonder how that happened. It's funny because the same white people that are saying your race that you other white people are racist and that racism exists and stuff like that nature. Once again, somebody's telling you something. So I find it ironic if we're gonna play in this state of mind of white and black and racism and stuff. Black Lives Matter has a bunch of white people within the protest. The same white people are telling me, we're gonna play in this mindset. Same white people are telling me that I'm oppressed. Well, if I'm oppressed, I don't need you to tell me I'm oppressed. Why are you telling me I'm a victim? You keep telling me I'm a victim. Yo, no, yeah. Even though you made it in life, even though you sacrificed, even though you worked hard, even though you showed discipline, Oh, you're a victim. Wait, what? Huh? Someone that gets raped, you don't have to tell them that they've been raped. Now, everyone has their own experience, and you can go through trauma, and you can be in denial about things. That is true. But to what extent? So you have to question these things, because these same white people that are, that are saying that I'm being oppressed, wouldn't they be the ones that are doing the oppression? I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there, man. I don't know. You know, it is what it is. I just don't. I just question once someone says this stuff. Trump says that, oh, he does a lot of things for the black community and stuff like that. Bro, that's still fucked up. It's still fucked up. Because how can you even, you can show statistics and things of that nature, but how can you quantify what you've done for the black community? Like, what have you done that exactly helps me as a black individual? If we're gonna play this game, we're gonna play along these fucking stupid lines, these imaginary these imaginary collective groups that we don't decide to have in our supposed modern society. What has Trump or Obama did for me as a black person individually? Because I went into the Air Force at age 19. Before then, I went to school, the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I was working at McDonald's when I graduated in 2005. I got a job at the post office. I could say my dad had an influence on it because he worked there, but because he was also a great worker himself, they figured his son would be a great worker too. Maybe it helped a little bit, maybe it didn't, because I still had to take a test. Oh, look, I also scored high on that test. Hmm. So, go from there. I go to school, got a Sallie Mae loan, about $10,000 for that school. Guess what happens? I'm working. I'm paying that school loan. Oh, I have a car too. Oh, guess what I'm doing? I'm working. I'm paying for that. My parents help pay for insurance because guess what they're doing? They're working. So no one's on welfare. We have nothing to do with food stamps or anything. Coming from a middle class family. Oh, look, I'm privileged because both my parents are together. My sister went to college based on her own work ethic, based on her getting scholarships. Oh, well, she got a minority scholarship. Oh, no, she got Florida's Bright Future Scholarship for her grades, for her hard work. So, at what point has any politician with at least in my lifetime, has their policies affected me as a a black individual? Now, you can argue that and say, well, this policy, that policy has paved the way for you to have these things where and all that and all that. So, okay, I'll give you that. Directly, indirectly, throughout the generations. All right, I'll give you that. But isn't that what it's all about? Progress. So if that's the case, then that also means that I'm no longer being oppressed. Like you told me, I've been oppressed. Hmm, that's interesting. You told me I'm oppressed. But if I got into where I'm at, my sister got into where she's at, am I still being oppressed? And anything I have on a local level, that's just fucked up individuals. Oh wait, that's right. Human beings are fucked up to begin with. Hmm. Your own spouse, the people you love, your kids will look at you in your face and lie to you. Everyone will lie to you. In fact, if we accept that everyone is pretty much fucked up, we'll be better. We'll be better off. So I joined the Air Force. Hmm, interesting. Oh, I worked. Oh, in the Air Force, color don't give a fuck about anything. Homosexuality, all that shit. They can have all these different little law stuff, but guess what? When you come to work, you come to work. You know, they had the don't ask, don't tell, which has probably always been in place at the local level because once again, it matters at the local level first. And you can have the laws in place to stop institutional racism and discrimination and things of that nature. But unless you, the individual, buys into it, it's pointless because you, the individual, has to buy into it, and then the person next to you has to buy into it, and then all y'all have to buy into it. And then if someone doesn't buy into it, then guess what? Someone has to speak up about it, and that's always going to be an issue because human beings are fucked up individuals. Bro, we're just living this shit called the human experience. And we're just making up shit as we go. And everything is just one fucking experiment. Your life is one experiment because you are having an experience. And through that, you're just having a bunch of trial and error. Hey, this seemed like it worked. Ah, shit, that didn't work. All right, let me try again. Test out food on my kids. Oh, they like it. Okay, cool. Oh, you guys don't like it? All right, won't cook that again. That's all it is. Everything is reasoning, everything is science, all together. Reasoning is science, logic is science. We're just studying things and experimenting shit and trying to figure out, all right, does this work? Work. All right, it doesn't work. And some things will never really truly work. Think about it. Will we ever actually have a true society of utopia? I mean, will we ever have a true utopia where everything is in peaceful and harmony? In that case, then we're sentient beings, and we're probably no longer, we done outgrew our bodies. We done evolved to something different. But it seems as long as we're having this human experience, the whole point of the journey is to fuck up, to learn from things, and to learn and grow individually and together collectively. Because you're not the individual, and you're not the group. You're just you, and you're us, and we're we, all at the same time. And if that sounds confusing, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Because to me, that's not even confusing. I am me and I am you, and we are we all at the same time. And once you accept that, it's so easy to understand because it's like, huh, it does make sense. But we're constantly being told that we're part of a group, we're part of a collective, where we got to identify as this, we got to identify as that. And hell, at what point do we even question that? Wait a minute, man, you keep telling me I need to be this, I need to be that. You know, you do the census, they tell you, okay, put down what race you are. I'm like, why? 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 So they can categorize you, so they can have statistics on you? When we look at a thing of racism, and we know racism exists because it's a social construct. So how do you fight a social construct, something that's psychological, put in place by people throughout time to justify themselves doing whatever the fuck they want to do? Or by people to really make their ego feel better. Like I said, strip, like in Buddhism, strip away the ego. You strip away the ego, you realize you are no self. You have your experience, but you're also everyone else at the same time. We all come from the same atoms, right? We all have the same atoms in us. Same molecules, same particles, same quarks in the subatomical world. Like, huh, what the fuck does it even matter? What the fuck does it even mean? I'm here to grow. So as I've talked about dystopian world and freedoms and laws and identifying as race and all the other shit, I feel like what we all really need is a spiritual awakening. And I heard this said before by other people, but we really need a spiritual awakening to look into ourselves. We're always trying to look externally for something. And they have us focus on an external physical world. But we know there's more to existing than what we physically see. My daughter sees red and green differently than the rest I guess I would say the rest of us are some people, I don't know. But she sees red and green differently than I see it. She switches them up from the way I see it. You call it color deficiency, color blindness, whatever. And that I always try to remember that because that means our eyes can deceive us. That means our brains can deceive us. That means what is the physical world only, neurological interpretations of our brain. So that's why we need to have a spiritual awakening. I've been watching the show Stargate SG-1. That shit's from the 90s. And I'm glad I'm watching it now. 'Cause I feel like if I'd have watched it when I was younger, I wouldn't be able to grasp the concept of what's going on in the show now. It's interesting how things can entertain and teach us all at the same time. But it's really your own perspective. Sometimes I question like my kids. I'm like, okay, if they're playing too much video games, and I pull them off and I make them go. We go walk, we go exercise, go play basketball. I make them read and shit like that almost every day. Make them do exercise around the house. Constantly trying to find a balance. But that's the thing. It's all about finding a balance. And as I'm watching the TV show is for entertainment, or is it? Because I can dictate how I perceive it. So when I watch a TV show, I'm not watching for entertainment. Not in the sense of, oh yeah, I'm feeling these emotions. Oh, this was interesting. Oh yeah, like I'm feeling sad now. No, for me, when I watch a TV show, it has me thinking more. It has me questioning more, because my entertainment is to think, is to question. I'm trying to figure out all the shit I don't know, because I'm pretty sure I don't know 99.9999% of the shit in the world. I'm pretty sure there's not even a real, I don't even think there's an actual imaginable number of the shit I actually know. I have no idea what the fuck I know. And I have no idea what the fuck I don't know. And I really feel like I don't know shit. And that's why I don't stand by any beliefs, because I just can see that I don't know shit. And as long as I know that I don't know shit, that's like one of my few beliefs I have. I don't know shit. I don't know anything. All I am is talking, and all I am is doing is thinking. When I do this podcast, I'm just thinking out loud. That's it. And it's my own digital recording. So when I pass on and die, none of you motherfuckers can tell my history. No one's telling my fucking story. This is my fucking story. And if someone happens to agree with what I say, I don't even need anybody to agree. I just want y'all to think. I'm like, you know what? I never saw it that way. Because I know if I'm thinking this, everyone else is thinking this too. People always tell me, oh man, you see things differently. Or you see it. I was like, I don't see nothing differently, man. I'm just not afraid to question. And I'm not afraid to listen to those thoughts that say, hey, you know what? This is fucked up. Or you know what? I don't think that makes sense. It's okay to question that shit. Because if you're wrong, you're wrong. But guess what? All the institutions and people telling you stuff is right, is wrong. And they know it's wrong. But it's like, well, we agree. It's okay if they present you the facts and say, hey, we don't really know, but this is what we think we know. But it's not. Everything presented to you as factual and evidence is presented to you as is absolute truth. Goes back to the thing with Christopher Columbus. They still teach that in school. I had to tell my kids, like, yeah, my kids was like, why do they still teach this? I was like, fuck if I know. I don't know if it's to control you. I don't know if it's to dumb you down. I don't know if it's a combination of all those things. I don't know if they just say that because everyone else says it. Because how often is everything said because someone else says it? And then someone else says it, and then another one person says it. Peer pressure is more than just trying to have you do drugs and have sex when you're in school, when you're in high school and shit like that. Peer pressure is also upon the information you receive. I hold nothing in truth. Because what is true? What is true? Nothing is absolute when we break it down. You either have facts and evidence to present an argument, and that's all you have. And shit, and you have your own reasoning, your own logic that you apply to the scientific method. That's it. That's all it is. But we need to have a spiritual awakening because a little too much technology and we become a true dystopian futuristic society where all the technology we have is used to either entertain us or you know watch us all the time and enslave us. Like you think you are free but you're not free. Because here's the thing about slavery in the olden world, modern, in the past. Yeah, let's go with that. Here's the thing about slavery then. It was physical. You can see that you was in slavery, right? You can feel the pain of it. You can see the chains and stuff. But even those chains were a lie because you break those chains, you run. Now you're free. Oh, but you can say, hell, but if you break them and run, they'll probably kill you. Hmm. So the fear of death. So here's a hypothetical thing: the fear of death. Say you're in slavery. Say you're. Let's go with it because when you, as I'm saying, slavery. Where you thinking of? You're thinking the South in America, 16, 1700s, 1800s, something like that, right? All pre-Civil War. That's what you're thinking, right? Because you've been conditioned to think of slavery as that in America. That is so fucking biased and egotistical perspective. You don't think of slavery as a millennia thing as part of human nature. You think of slavery as South America, Confederate flag. You've been conditioned to think that shit, and I have to even myself. I know I'm like shit because as I think of slavery, that's what I think of, and it's fucked up. Why? Because they showed me roots when I was in the third grade, third or fourth grade. So already at that age, they're telling me about, oh, this is slavery. This is what slavery is. This is where slavery is. America. They're not gonna tell you about Mensa Musa and the Mali Empire with their slaves, or the Ghana Empire and their slaves, or the Republic of Congo and their slavery right now, or slaves in Russia, slaves in China, North Korea. They're not gonna tell you about slaves now, right? They're not gonna tell you about human trafficking and slavery now. They're not gonna tell you about pedophilia rings and stuff with child sex slaves. Oh no, we're talking about slavery. We're literally trying to hide other issues because pedophilia, child sex laws, is a child sex slave, so that's big, right? We know that's big in Hollywood, but no, I'm gonna tell you instead that racial injustice, black people are gonna die from a white cop. It's like, oh, let's shed some light on this problem because we really don't want nobody to talk about this problem. We're not gonna talk about Epstein Island and shit like that. We're gonna talk about George Floyd instead of talking about it all at once because there's something they also don't want you to know is that you're capable of being entertained, watching sports. You're capable of meditating. You're capable of being spiritual. You're capable of growing your consciousness awareness. You're capable of attaining a shitload of information. There still is not a computer that they built that can withhold the information that the human brain can withhold. Huh. But here they tell you, yeah, you can't really remember all that stuff. Or you can't really think of all those things. Or you can't know all this. You can't research all this stuff. The dumbed downness of it all. So I try to explain to my kids and I'm like, yeah, that's probably why they still tell you Christopher Columbus is that and that. And it's a European indoctrination to make you think that the Europeans were colonizing everything. Because guess what? When the Europeans colonized everything, what did they do? Rewrite history. They made it seem like they were the first ones to colonize anything. No, they were just the most recent ones. And give it a few generations, guess what? All you're gonna hear is how America colonized everywhere. Got like 200 something bases in over 100 something countries, right? Sounds like colonization to me, if I'm not mistaken. But that's why we need to have a spiritual awakening. That's why we needed to really focus on the self and the idea that we are more than just us. And when I mean more than just us, I'm talking about more than just the human species. Because that's where I feel sometimes that I need to incorporate animals, inanimate objects, wood, chairs, You have to focus on the grand scheme of things of the universe that you live in. What is the universe? Can I even perceive the universe? I can't. You can't even fathom the universe. You can't fathom it. I showed a video to my kids of the size of planets and stuff, and as they got bigger and bigger, I'm like, you can't even begin to imagine. And here's the more fucked up thing is, you haven't even seen it. You haven't even seen it. So there's still a part of you could be like, hey, I don't even know if space even exists. And then if I do see it, can I even trust my own eyes? This shit is wild, man. The journey to a higher self, a spiritual awakening, will strip away the ego, will strip away all those things. And that's why I've been trying to focus my life on these past few years, in this past decade or so, trying to understand that I know I don't know nothing. And the more I learn that I don't know nothing, and the more information I try to gather, I realize the spiritual awakening needs to happen within myself, to be bigger than myself, to know that myself exists and myself does not exist, that the ego means nothing. I'm not above feeling pain or suffering. I'm not above not knowing what love is, because I still feel like we only are kind of grasping the surface of love. You gotta have a spiritual awakening to really look inside instead of looking outwards for God and the deity to help us. Understand that if God exists, and I feel like God does, some higher being does exist, then are we not that being? My DNA and my ex-wife DNA blended together along with the DNA of pretty much every damn human being in existence, pass on down to my kids. So now what? Exactly. The molecules and stuff that is part of me are some of the same molecules found in inanimate objects that's found in my fucking cat. So we're sharing the same particles, atoms, right? Neutrons, electrons. If these things exist, and we're part of it, because even if you don't believe it exists, there's something else. There's something, that's where you gotta tap into that thing that there's something else going on. There's something else inside of me. There's a whole different power that I have. There's something else. You can feel it, but you can't grasp it or understand it. And science is a way to try to explain it, but you need a balance of the science and the spirituality. You need a balance of your reasoning and your logic with the unknown, knowing that there's be some shit you'll never fucking understand. But you can feel it. You can feel it. Right? That's why you need that spiritual awakening. That's why we need this spiritual awakening. Because we don't talk about it. We don't talk about spirituality. Like I said, it goes back how I was talking about the mask and things like that. They're telling you to wash your hands. They're telling you to wear a mask. Whereas a piece of shirt, knowing it doesn't have no real defense and doesn't really stop the spread, or where you're wearing a surgical mask or N95 U mask or whatever the case may be, they're telling you this, different, that. You're not really talking about working on your spirituality, working on your physical health. They're not telling you, talking about exercise, make sure you have a good diet, drink water, pay attention to the food you eat, make sure you have your vitamins and minerals inside your body. We don't really talk about that. We kind of glance over it. You gotta take care of your body, your physical health, and the spiritual health of yourself in order to overcome these things. I got a friend that has the virus right now. And I've been thinking before, like in previous months, I was like, man, I think I had this shit back in February. Because I'm looking at the symptoms and all things and what they're saying, I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's just like that's what happened to me. Even the whole, not being able to taste or smell, like I remember that shit. And I forgot that I couldn't taste or smell or whatever. I just know I was eating shit and my appetite was still kind of there, but it wasn't completely gone. But I don't remember tasting anything too much particular. I remember drinking a shitload of NyQuil. drinking whiskey, anything I can find to help alleviate the symptoms. I remember waking up in the middle of the night coughing, dry cough, like to the point where I couldn't breathe because I was coughing so much. I had shortness of breath. I had all these symptoms and issues. I'm like, I rarely ever get sick unless I have the flu shot, and you have the symptoms of the side effects of the flu shot and stuff. I rarely ever get sick. And here I am feeling this virus or whatever, or wherever the virus is actually called, or whatever it is, if it even exists. I know I'm sick, but I also knew that I felt like shit, but I knew I was gonna beat it by a week. I also knew that, hey, don't worry, keep taking your vitamins, keep doing what you need to do, move around the house, do whatever you need to do. It'll pass. You're strong. I talked myself through it. I found my spirituality. I relied upon my spirituality. I calmed myself down. I told myself, hey, you're gonna make this. You're gonna be fine because you're strong. You take care of your body. You try your best to take care of your mind. You're gonna be fine. And as I hear my friend talk about their symptoms and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, I had the exact same thing. That's interesting. Now you might say, oh, I'm crazy or I'm making it up, but hey, you know, that's my experience. That's my experience. I know what I know. I know my logic and reasoning, and we're going by everything that they're saying in the media and stuff. Well, oh yeah, I had that too. Hmm. Interesting, right? Makes you wonder. Now, as you hear this, you're gonna think, huh? Either you've been sick or someone else you know has been sick too. In these past few months, ever since what, November last year? Because the first case of the coronavirus happened in what, January? And the dude came, I think came to Washington, Washington or Oregon. I mean, hey, someone gets on a plane or ride to him and goes to another state. Someone been around him. He said he quarantined himself as soon as he got back. But all it takes is one. And then the virus spreads and stuff. It's interesting to think about though. But like I said, we don't really focus on the spiritual health of individuals. Because religion is not spirituality. Religion is following the doctrine and stuff, or following the deity, and you're being told how to live and what to do. I don't want to question or knock anyone's religious beliefs, but I mean that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. If you allow yourself to be to have awareness of you're following a doctrine. When you hear me talk about Buddhism, it's not a doctrine. It's not a deity. Buddha is a term meaning the enlightened one. Siddhartha Gautama became enlightened, a Buddhist. No, a Buddhist, the Buddha, my fault, the enlightened one. And then Buddhist, and he talked about anyone can achieve it. The average person can achieve it. And then sometimes people still decide to create kind of a religion, a doctrine. He talked about his ways and stuff, but there's multiple ways to do things. There's not always one direct way to do it. There's more than one way to succeed or be successful or have something in life. And everyone always wants to know, oh man, how did you make it? Find out how someone did something, but you don't have to follow their exact path. Tweak it to the way you see fit. Because what works for you. Because if there's 7.7 or almost 8 billion people on this planet, then that means there's about 8 billion different ways to do something, right? beyond fathomable for what you can comprehend sometimes. But if you focus on yourself, and one thing I've been avoiding is meditating. I tried before, and I think there's something I'm going to do more, and I want to incorporate my kids on it too. And maybe just start out slow with 5, 10 minutes a day, and just take the time. Because I do it, but not in a sense where, like I say, I lay down in my bed and like I lay down, and to me, that's when I meditate because I actually go off into a different state of mind, and then I fall asleep. And sometimes I can't control it anyways. I fall asleep, so that's also that too. But I really want to be able to focus on meditating during the daytime and stuff, and it's something that I want to do with the kids as well. So that'll be interesting. I don't know if I ever had them meditate before or not. I don't remember. If I did, it had been younger or whatever than what they are now. But I really want to focus on our spiritual health. And I tell them a lot, and I told them when I showed that video about Buddhism, I'm like, look, a lot of shit I teach y'all, talk about stuff, whatever. This shit, this is where I get it from. This is where I get it from. I said some things, like something that grandmother says, my mom says, whatever. You know, this is where she get it from too. And if you look into any religious doctrine, you can find pretty much all the same. Everybody pretty much talks about the same thing, just in a different way. But then they always tell you to follow someone. I'm not following anybody because if I follow someone, then I'm not able to learn from everybody. So I want to be able to learn and follow anyone and everyone all at the same time if I actually follow. Because just because I learned something from you doesn't mean I'm following you in your footsteps. I'm just learning something from you. Like I said, I'm tweaking it to fit my experience. But we had a spiritual awakening. If we all focus on our spiritual health, will racism even be an issue? Prejudice, discrimination, hate? Would those things even be an issue? Why are we not a more spiritual society? Spiritual civilization? Bro, we're still fucking tribal mentality, man. We're still tribal mentality. And I didn't realize it. I started been thinking about it these past few weeks. I'm like, bro, we really are just out here tribing it up. Like I said, gang and shit. Like, it's tribes. And collective identity follows that tribal mentality. We think it's a physical reality, but the physical reality just seems to be a creation of our own existence. Like we choose to have this physical reality. My goal is to ascend, to become enlightened, to become something different, something that I can't explain it, but something that I know is out there and I know it's achievable. Yeah, I feel every now and then I feel a glimpse of it. Where I can feel myself talk about love and really feel love for the people around me. And I'm trying to expand that awareness of love to the people I can't even imagine that exist right now. If they even exist. Focus on your spiritual health. Spirituality, knowing that something is bigger than you, but knowing that it is a part of you because you are self and you're selfless at the same time. Stripping away your ego, because when you strip away the ego, when you no longer call yourself black, white, brown, Asian, all this other shit, when you no longer call yourself that, then who are you? What are you? And I was telling my kids, I'm like, who are you? Are you black? Are you white? And it's like, no, I'm mixed. I'm like, are you? Mixed with what? Like, how are you mixed? Mixed with what? I was like, because as far as I know, I'm a human. Your mom's a human. We're both Homo sapiens. So now what? Now what are you mixed with? And people think that if you go away from identification that you take away the self. But ironically, when you go towards identification and labels, you're taking away the self. Oh, shit. Oh man. Oh man. I don't know. I find that too funny. Maybe my sense of humor is different, but I find that funny because it's ironic. Irony is funny to me. You have the God damn it. What the LBG? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You have that community. And community. Do you want to call it community? Fucking, they just throw the word community around like it's nothing. I'm pretty sure community has something to do with geographical location. But whatever. Whatever. So you have these people that identify in this group. And, how can you be self when you're in a group? Right? But then you're in a group, you're no longer worried about the individual. So we're stripping away the ego, but you're not stripping away the ego at the same time. Because you're also a part of this group, but you're separating yourself from other individuals too. Because you identify your individuality, but you're a part of this group who collectively is saying that y'all act together. And then that's where you have a stereotype come into. Because if I identify as black, and you tell me black people only talk a certain way, if you're white, that's racist. But if you're black, now we all identify as black, and you know what? This is how black people talk. This is how black people act. This is how black people dance. But where am I at individual? Because what if I can't dance? What if I don't talk this way? So am I no longer black? And I say this because this is my life experience. Because as a kid, I was told, like I said before, I was told I'm not black enough. And that simple thing, being told I'm not black enough, still fucks my head today. Well, I tell you about it, it doesn't fuck my head today, but it fucked my head then. But I'm glad it did, and I'm glad I let it happen, because that's when, in middle school and stuff, that's when my brain really started to realize, like, wait a minute, none of this shit makes sense. Because the irony is, if a white person says, I'm black, I should be able to play basketball and dance, they're what? Racist, right? They're prejudiced, they're biased. They're stereotyping me. But as a black person, if I say I'm supposed to dance and play sports or whatever, or if I say if I don't talk a certain way, then what? I'm not black enough. Well, then you just say, if a white person says to me, then it's wrong. Goes back to saying nigga. You hear a nigga in the song, and you hear black people say the word, then it's like, oh, it's bad. Now, if I'm white and I say that, you're racist. And you can say, oh, it's because of this and that in history and blah, blah, but you learn from history. But we live in the present. We don't live in the past. We don't live in the future. We live in the present moment. So in the present moment, I need to identify the irony in that, and the double standard in that. And to acknowledge that, you know what? Maybe I should just not have the label at all. Because the problem with the collective identity is, if you have the collective identity to a group, then you're going to have a stereotype. You're going to have profile. So I think it's interesting when you hear Black Lives Matter talk about Black Lives Matter and this and that going on, and I'm being oppressed and I'm a victim. Well, then now, anytime someone tells me I'm oppressed and I'm a victim, it must be true, because the whole Black Lives Matter movement is also saying that, yes, I'm black, so I'm being oppressed. Yes, I'm black, so I'm going to be shot by a cop. Right? Because that's what everyone's telling me. That's what statistics are telling me. Go away from all that shit, man. Go away from all that. Strip the ego away. Have the self. Have self-awareness to have the awareness that you're not just yourself. And I know it sounds confusing. Trust me, I know. It sounds confusing. It sounds almost contradictory. But you stop existing in duality where it's either this or that. And in the middle where it's all of it at once. It all exists at once. Your perception is the only thing that changes. And that's why I say we got to have a spiritual awakening. Because you start to think bigger than everything. And not just yourself, not just the species, but the planet. How you know the planet? I told my son, I was like, how you know the planet isn't alive? He just looked at me, he's like, oh shit. I was like, do you know what alive is? I was like, how do we define alive? We try to, but we really don't know what life is. So we don't know what life is. We can't understand what life is. We don't understand what death is. What the fuck does life or death even matter? That's why the spiritual. We all know there's something else after we die. We all know that there's something, and you can find different studies or testimonies where people have talked about light and all the other shit. But you know, you just search yourself. You know something's different. Some of my friends think I don't believe in God, and I try to explain to them like, no, it's not. I know it's not. I don't believe in God. I never said I don't believe in God. I'm just saying I can't comprehend exactly what God is because it's beyond my comprehension. Because I know I can't fully understand it. Because I have not raised my conscious awareness. I have not raised my spiritual awareness yet to even understand the concept of God. If I can't even tell if there's a world bigger, more beyond Earth, what the fuck do I even know? So I just don't want to touch on that concept. But I know something does exist bigger than myself. And I know that the concept of a deity or God does exist. I also know that for the survival of the human species, it seems like we do need that existence of a higher power. Because in our time of need, when we feel like we need help, who we call to? Who we pray to? Praying to somebody. Interesting enough, how you know you're not praying to yourself to fix yourself? You just call it God. Or think of your consciousness. I was watching Westworld, and they kind of touched on it. Because like as the if you haven't seen Westworld, it's kind of about machines, robots, or AI, whatever you want to call them. It's like they're trying to figure out, their existence and their self-awareness. Once someone becomes self-aware, but like, say we're not self-aware, we would use God. We would have been like, oh, well, a God or a deity or an alien or some supreme being is doing this. Some supreme being is telling me this in my head. Like, oh, you have this thought, like, oh man, I don't know where this thought came from. It must came from God. But what if it came from you? Then does God still exist? Well, but if God exists and God gave you that thought and you're a creation of God, would that not make you God too? I watched this video on there's a channel on YouTube called Spirit Science, and I'm pretty sure it's a website too, but it talks about the human history. If you ever get a chance, and if you're ever willing to have your mind be wide awoken and not afraid to let go of your beliefs, and I said don't hold on to beliefs, because when we hold on to beliefs, it blocks us from accepting new information. So if you're willing to accept that and let go of your beliefs, that I suggest you watch the human history Spirit Science on YouTube if you can find it, and or I guess look up Spirit Science and find their website, and they should have the video on their website too. But it's called the Human History, and it kind of incorporates exactly what it says, Spirit Science, what we know through historical evidence and science or whatnot, along with spirituality, all thrown in there together. And my whole thing is, it seems to be like, and in the beginning, or it talks about in the movie, consciousness existed, has always existed, always will exist, but in order to almost understand itself, it just kept reproducing itself to a lower level, and small level to really understand itself. Because that's not what we're doing, right? That's where our journey should be. Our journey should be about self-awareness and knowing that we are bigger than the self, knowing that it all exists at the same time. That spiritual awakening changes everything, because you no longer start to see things the same way. You start to really be aware, and you wake up. And I almost feel like depression is, I almost think that depression is a bystander of that spiritual awakening. Because we often associate depression with, something happens in our lifetime and it's traumatic, and then we kind of feel the effects for it. But depression is, can also be a chemical imbalance in your brain. Depression can be a symptom of some other disorder or something, or disease in your body. Or it could be a side effect of self-awareness, spiritual awakening. Because once again, Suffering is a part of life. I tell people, I was telling my kids, I'm like, look, I'm sad. I was like, I'm depressed. I battle it every day. I was like, you don't know though, do you? I was like, do you ever see me sad? I was like, no. I'm like, well, it's because I accept it. I accept I'm depressed. I accept that I'm going to battle depression. I accept that as part of my life. But I'm also hoping that if I raise my spiritual awareness, that I will be okay. That I will make it. So I know that there will be more things in this existence, in this reality, because when I die, I'm either going to probably come back or I'm going to move on to the next stage. Who knows? But I really want to focus on the spiritual awareness. I really want to focus on my spirituality because I feel like that I think that is a thing that can help me overcome and it's also part of my journey. For some reason I feel it's no I keep saying I feel and I think because it's a combination of both. My logic and my emotions. It's a combination of both. It's always in balance. I'm trying to do my best to stay in balance. To be like I feel, but I don't believe. Because when I believe, it's almost like I believe. Because usually when we say the word believe, we associate that with a sense of zero doubt. But doubt is helpful because if you hold on too much belief and have no doubts about something, then you put yourself into a box and you're not. And if you're presented with information that can go against your own beliefs, then you won't be able to see it and let go of it. Focus on your spiritual health. Do what you need to do. Meditate, study, whatever the case is. Go on mindful walks, be out in nature. Enjoy your TV shows. Also know that your TV show is entertainment. But find the spiritual awakening within everything and anything that you do. Y'all be good. So until next time.